I think the first thing I learned this year is really about lenses, right? Less about cameras. Last year and the year before that and the year before that, it's always about, what camera can I use that's like the best camera. But then as my video that I put out earlier this year, the best camera of 2019, we all have our different needs, our different requirements. And at the time, the 1DX Mark II served almost like everything I needed. But I've always wanted to do something more, or I should say like less video-y, right? Not to say that the 1DX Mark II can't provide cinematic images. It can provide very cinematic images. But again, the dynamic range isn't there. There isn't like an actual log profile in there. But if you put a high quality glass, damn thing's turning it. If you put a high quality glass, high quality optics in front of your Canon T7i or Sony a7 III or your 1DX Mark II, it can create amazing images, So the one thing I learned this year when it came to lenses, I'm just trying to find something very like a little bit more interesting for you guys, as far as background goes and things like that. But lenses, right? Lenses mean everything. I think it's like having like 20/20 vision and not 20/20 vision, right? Like if you have a 20/20 vision, you can see every single thing. If you don't have a 20/20 vision, then perhaps you can see, certain things, but maybe some things are out of focus, or you have like an astigmatism, so you see like only just from here out, right? Things like that. The optics and the lenses you have in front of your camera, right? Your eyes, I think help dictate the overall image. I want to show you guys exactly what this Ultra RFS thing does, just really, really quick. So right now I'm on the Canon FD 20mm f2.8 wide open. As you can see, everything's blown out. I'm at ISO 400 on the GH5. All I do, this little hinge thing, press it down, and my ND filter is in front of it. And boom, look at that. Snaps in. I'm at just a 2-stop ND, but I can obviously just like bring my exposure down a little bit, right? Pretty cool. And just say like if you're walking back, say you're walking back inside, you're doing like a walk and talk or something like that, or vlog. All you do, if I can do this properly, okay, there we go. Just take the bottom of it and then boom, flips open. And you just saw right there the beautiful sunlight coming out, peeking through. There's still a lot of clouds outside, a lot of broken sky, so not the best. If you're going to film like an interview or something like that, a day interior shot, you may not want to be using a day like this where there's just broken sky. But I think that goes along to say with lighting, right? Lighting is something that I've definitely stepped up this year, and I've learned that for me, rather than setting up my key light first and lighting everything else, when I did do that, everything looked a little bit too uneven, right? Like the exposure levels in general were just uneven. When I started to light my background, right? Background and then the midground, and then set up my key light, that's when I started to create more, not only more depth when it comes to lighting, but also just like a more even exposure over everything. And I feel like that that helps to create something a little bit more intentional, something a little bit more cinematic, if you will. And it is cold, it is cold, it is cold. It's Christmas in California. That's a weird location, right? You feel like California should it generally is always sunny. We never have seasons here. We have like a long summer, very short fall, a very short winter, somewhat of a spring, But location is the next thing, that this year I specifically more picky when it came to filming locations, whether that be client stuff or even personal projects. The location you have makes so much of a difference. It creates like the mood, the tone, it creates the ambiance, it creates that actual like visceral connection with your audience, right? Because if you're filming something like, say, in a basement and you have no windows, right? You obviously need to do something creative with that. You can use like halogen tungsten bulbs overhead, kind of like pot lamps, right? So, locations are a huge thing. And if you can take more time, like me this year, I took more time to find better locations for client stuff and also for my own personal projects. Moving on from there, we talked about lenses and lighting and all the creative side to production, filmmaking, kind of like the whole shebang of content creation, right? Owning your own business, which is pretty much what I have, is all I have. But on top of that is the actual business side, right? It's getting clients, it's finding your rates, it's paying for crew, paying for your time in post-production, all those things combined. And if you want a certain day rate, if you're looking for, to be able to be paid fairly and adequately, so to speak, you have to eventually put out your prices that you want, right? So like, say for instance, if you know that your time is worth $1,000 for your day rate, right? Your day rate as the camera operator / cinematographer / director of photography, right? $1,000. If you're only charging $400 and you've only been charging $400 for like 5 years, you got to start charging $1,000. That way, when clients are reaching out to you, or you're reaching out to clients, and they're figuring out what everything's going to cost, if you put out $1,000, they're either going to say, okay, cool, like this guy knows what he's doing, because this type of project, should cost like at least $1,000 for a DP or for a camera operator, cinematographer. But if you're only charging like $500, then they're going to think that you might not be too qualified for the level of work that is necessary. And then if that's the case, then they're going to want to even try to lowball you, like less than $500, which is not good. So something I learned this year is, again, to like stay strong with my day rate. And right now my day rate is $1,200 for me to come out, to bring my gear, to operate all the equipment, whether that's camera, audio, lighting, and also provide my own gear, and to create like the visuals behind the project. So $200, and I've stood behind that. There are times where I will go lower, or I will reduce my day rate. That's basically if I feel that the project is something really good, really passionate about. It's a good message. It's a strong brand. It's a good project, So I will go ahead and lower my day rate for that, and I feel like a lot of us do that anyways. So that is like tip number 4. Now I think I'm at tip number 4. I just noticed every time I make these vloggy type YouTube videos, I'm always going to like regular places, right? Every time I see like these YouTube videos, it's always like in a hotel or some convention center in New York or Canada, or a beach. You know what I mean? Not like urban California. You know what I'm saying? Interesting thought. So yeah, I don't know. But tip number, I think the 5th thing that I've learned this year has got to be probably like a tie. I think a tie between doing more spec work, right? So anyone who doesn't know spec work, it's basically you have an idea, a creative idea, and you want to shoot it, but you don't have a budget for it, right? Like you want to do a car commercial because you're very passionate about cars or something like that, right? So you do like a car ad. It could be like a Ford ad or a Honda ad or a BMW ad, but you shoot it. Maybe you even put your own money in, but because you want to level up your cinematography, you want to level up the kind of production you can do to show potential clients, right? So spec work is one. I think that's like tied for the 5th thing I learned this year. And then I would think the last one is definitely not giving up, right? Because every year you're in business, every year you're in production. There's slow times, there's really crazy hectic times, and then there's like normal times, when things are just kind of like going normal. And then during the slow times, it's hard. At least for me, like sometimes I can be very hard on myself because I'm figuring, why aren't I as busy as like last month or whatever, or the month before. Why I'm only doing like 2 or 3 projects this year and not, or this month, right? And not like freaking 10 like last month, So I think it's during those times when you gotta just be like, you know what, it's all right. Things come. Stay busy though, right? Don't start just doing whatever, like binge watching Netflix or playing video games. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying, if you can, why not put your resources into maybe shooting something on spec, right? Or maybe reaching out to a couple of producers or directors, and say, hey, you guys got anything? Any scripts, any stories you're working on? How can I be involved with that? So there's always things you can do. There's always action you can take, right? To continue on this journey that you're on, this filmmaking journey that I think all of us are on. Hopefully this is going pretty good. Hopefully sound is coming across not too bad. And that is it, friends. You know, that is the end of 2019. My top 5 tips that I learned this year. Hopefully they can support you guys some way, shape, form, audio, visuals, all that good stuff. But yeah, there's only like a few more days left of the year. I have one more shoot before the end of the year, and then the rest of it spending time with family, with friends, and also more post-production stuff. I don't really know where I'm going. I guess I'll go this way. I don't know, I was gonna finish off this video back home, kind of make things full circle. You know, started off in the home office now, and then had to go out. I was gonna end it back in the home office, but I don't know, just didn't want to do it in the office, so I figured I'd just come out, go for a short little walk before I have to be somewhere else, and give you guys a little bit more piece of content, you know, or just a little bit more content, I should say. But hopefully it helps you guys out. If you have any tips that you learned this year that can support everyone else on the channel, leave them down below, and hopefully we can all just learn from each other in this whole thing we call filmmaking, content creation, whatever it is you want to call it, you know? That does it for me, friends. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Hope to see you guys in the new year, 2020. Big year, big things coming up. Super, super excited because we have a lot of new ventures, so to speak. Still doing filmmaking, still doing commercials, all sorts of things, documentaries, but you know, taking it to the next level, so to speak. If you like the video, leave it a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as always, just so you know if I have new content coming out. And remember, friends, every day you have an opportunity to create your experience and to write and tell your own story. My name is David Lee, and I'll catch you guys in 2020.